Welcome to Stamp-a-faire 2017. This is Stephanie Gold, and today I'm going to show you how to put together a cute card using the second traditional American anniversary gift, cotton. So right here I'm showing you two different types of cotton. There's just the regular cotton balls that you might have in your bathroom, and there's also on the right there's the cotton coil, which you can easily get at grocery stores as well. The first thing I'm going to be doing is pulling apart the cotton so it kind of separates and you can see more of it. And then I'm going to get out my pink paint. Now, originally I had an example that I used that I just put a little bit of that watercolor on my fingers, and then I just kind of patted all over the cotton and turned it pink. Today in the video though, I want to show you how I used my kids' tempera paint. I just mixed it together with a little bit of water to dilute it. And this gave me a little bit more to work with when coloring the cotton. So I decided that now that I had this bowl, I was just going to try dipping the entire piece of cotton into the paint that was diluted and squeezing it out. It lost a lot of the paint while I dipped and squeezed it, so I put it back in a couple different times just to hope that the color would just get a little bit darker, a little bit richer every time I squeezed it out. After I did this a few times, I really wrung them out good, and then I pulled them apart a little bit and set them aside to dry. So while my cotton is drying, the next thing I'm going to do is take a 3.5 by 3.5 inch cardstock square, and I'm going to cut it in half from corner to corner, and I'm just going to round it with my fingers a little bit just to kind of prevent any folding and just get really, really nice round, smooth edges. And I'm going to kind of fold it into a bit of a cone shape. Now once I folded my paper exactly how I want it, I unroll it and then I put a little bit of adhesive on each left-hand side, and I'm using about a 1/4 inch score tape for this. And then once I take the peels off, I'm going to roll it back up into the cone and secure it in place. Now once my cone is adhered together and exactly how I want it, I'm going to trim off each little edge and leave a little bit of a point in the back so it looks like a perfect little cotton candy holder or something, something you might see at a carnival. Next, I'm going to add some of my dried cotton. This is the cotton that I had dyed with the watercolor paints, and I'm going to separate it and mold it and work with it, twist it around a little bit and work it into something that really does resemble some cotton candy that you would get at a carnival or a fair. Add a little bit more if you need to add a little more, make it really, really full. And then just go ahead and set it aside, and we're going to do our next bit, which is the glitter. So this is a 4.5 by 3.5 inch piece of white cardstock. And if you're going to be using the spray glitter, what I did is just took it outside, put it in this cardboard box, sprayed it with the adhesive, and then sprinkled the glitter all over it. But if I have another little idea to show you guys today, which is doing some stripes of glitter that are super easy. So here I'm using some 1/2 inch score tape, and I'm just going to create little stripes on my cardstock panel. Okay, now once I have all 5 of my stripes all set with the score tape, I am going to take one piece off at a time, and I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of the iridescent glitter. Now what I like to do is push the glitter in really hard into the score tape just to make sure there's no sticky spots left and it's really, really stuck in there. And then once I'm done, I'm going to move on to the next piece and put more glitter on that one and then work my way up the panel. So when I'm using loose glitter, a trick that I like to use is using glossy accents on small amounts of glitter, and I just put it right over top and it dries clear and then the glitter doesn't fall off. But for large panels like this one, what I like to use is a medium called Liquitex. It's a gel medium, it's heavy. You just paint on a thick layer, it shows up white, and when it's dry it's clear, and then none of the glitter falls off, and I love it. Either way, you're definitely going to want to set it aside to dry fully before we move on to the next step. So now we're going to cut a piece of limeade ice cardstock to 5 by 3 3/4 inches, and we're going to adhere our glitter panels right on top using a bit more of our score tape. Now once those are adhered together, we are going to put this entire panel on top of an A2 card base, which is cut horizontally, and we're going to use some foam adhesive to give it a bit of dimension and add a little bit of pop-up off the card. So now I've been dying to use some of this pom-pom trim. So I got some pink for our card today, and I'm just going to wrap a single piece of it along the left-hand side of our card base. You know, trim it up and just tie it in a little bit of a knot. I also decided to add even more texture by using some seam binding and attaching it in a little knot above our pink pom-pom trim, and then doing the little water scrunch method a la Danelle Flanders, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And you know, it gives you so much texture with just that itty bitty little extra added bit. Once I'm done with my ribbons, I'm going to die cut a piece of white cardstock out with the Big Basics Just For You die. And I'm going to adhere it right on top of my card base using some Tombow Mono liquid glue. I'm going to put most of the glue just in the center of my die cut, just so when it's attached it still kind of floats a little bit on the edges and adds a little bit more dimension. And of course, to finish off the card, we are going to put our little homemade cotton candy right on top. And I'm just going to glue a little bit of the cotton right inside so it doesn't fall out. And then I'm going to glue the entire thing with the same Tombow Mono liquid glue directly on the front of my card base. And that's it, everybody. Just fold your card base and you've got yourself a super glittery, happy, fun little birthday card, celebration card, whatever you'd like. Thank you guys so much for joining me at my very first contributing Stamp-a-faire. I've had a great time with you guys today, and I look forward to talking to you in the forum. Bye!